What's up, Z-Freaks? In today's video, I'll be going over a budget variation of one of the most OP decks right now, Blue Mask. This deck is cheap to make and you probably have pulled most of the cards already. As you can see, it can get you crazy win streaks. If you're looking for a powerful deck that's easy to get wins with, stay tuned and I'll have that coming right up for you. Alright, Z-Freaks, so quick plug before I get into the video. Here is a tip that I meant to put into my previous tips video, which I will have linked up here, so make sure you check that out. Did you know that there is a Facebook community for the game? If not, well, now you do. And I'm going to put a link to that in the description below. And also, did you know that there are multiple Discord servers for this game? If you didn't know that, you do now, and I'm going to have links to 3 of them in the description below. And also that there's a Reddit for this game. I will put a link to the subreddit that I frequent in the description below as well. It's multiple subreddits, but I think only one of them is really popular. Just don't take my word for it. If another one is popular, then you can go find that one too, but I'll put the one that I go to in the description below. Alright, now let's go ahead and get into the video. So I know I've got a lot of plugs before I get to the deck, and I'm sorry for that, but I do want to go over the Orleans cards since I didn't really go over them in the profile. So here they go. Obviously, Orleans King of Beasts starts off the morphing just like the other mask classes. The Predator is nice to morph into, because when you morph into him, he increases your movement by 1. Also, when you boost him, it increases your movement by 1, so you can essentially boost him for free. The Dogged Animal is an interesting card. It switches to active state when you morph into it, so you can use it as another attacker, but mainly it's going to be a blocker. I don't know if you noticed, but this card costs 4 and it has 700 power. So typically you're going to want to use this card to block with, and that's probably why it has the 3 blue specified costs as well. Orleans 1000 Blades is interesting because when you morph into it or summon it, you get a bunch of copies of him, and those copies can also morph as well, so you can use this to put your opponent in a position where you're definitely going to be able to morph. Orleans Tentacle is just here for removal. When it attacks and morphs, you can put one of your opponent's minions into their base in the rest state. This is the main boss monster of the deck, which I do go over in the profile. The Royal Sea Dragon is not very necessary for the deck, but it is good to have. If you have it, I definitely use it, because it's removal when you summon and morph, and it can get multiple attacks off. And the Ruler of the Waves is the main boss monster for the Blue Mask archetype, with removal and the ability to get multiple attacks off. So these are all the Orleans cards. So now that I went over them here, let's go ahead and get into the whole deck. So it seems like, unlike the green and white mask deck, the blue mask deck doesn't necessarily need any legends to win. The boss monster for this deck is an epic. The way I've been playing this deck, it only takes about 12,000 spirit, and even less if you decide to run it without the legend. So let's take a look at him. Orleans Monstrous Bird is what you mostly focus on when it comes to defeating your opponent. I'm sure we've all been winning, and suddenly he pops up and makes multiple attacks to the face for game. He also has a weakening ability upon attack that can remove minions, so in certain situations, he can be used to control the board as well. When you morph into him or boost him, you increase your movement by 1 and he enters the active state. If you can clear a path to their life and give him some resistance, he's pretty much a guaranteed victory. Now, when I originally tried this deck, I tried it with only 1 8-drop because it was all I had, but it turns out in the budget version you can get away with just 1 or maybe none. Orleans Ruler of the Waves is another multiple attacking boss minion with removal to boot. When morphed, he actually destroys all your opponent's highest cost minions, so he can remove problem cards without targeting them, like Strike Worm and God Sex. He also switches to active when morphed to get off more attacks. He can lower your movement by 1 to restand when he deals damage to the opponent's life, so making him unblockable is also pretty much an easy win. Let's take a look at what enables these crazy plays. Sheldon is already busted, but in a deck like this, he turns up even more. Every one of his spells is relevant to this strategy. Foresight gives you an extra movement, letting you make big plays. Launch can be used to ramp your mana if used properly. You can move a minion to base, launch it back into play, and then move it back to base to increase your mana by 1. Launch is also used to bring out a minion without movement, which is vital to OTK your opponent. Bubble Shield is amazing. If you can put Bubble Shield on something that can attack multiple times, then you just win. But be careful, if you use this and then morph, the morph minion won't have the unblockable status, so be sure to sequence your turn properly. Marine Assault is also a strong card. It's pretty versatile. Since this brings a minion out in the active state, you can use it to put a minion you just attack with back in active mode. You can also use it to create a surprise blocker for your opponent, so don't forget that. We're running a full suite of Orleans equipment. The Cutlass is used when you need to get off a wind morph effect, but you aren't sure if your attack can connect. Be careful because it'll force you to morph if you have a movement available. The Gauntlet on the King of Beasts guarantees a morph. Jet Phantom is useful for your one-turn kill as well. It gives an extra movement when placed and allows you to morph more than once per turn. It might be a good idea to hold this in your hand until you're ready to pop off. Lastly, we have the Attaché because it enables your one-turn kill as well. Putting this on a minion with Bubble Shield makes him unable to be interacted with outside of purple. So I believe that's all the cards that contribute to the one-turn kill. Let's take a look at some other cards that we run here. I was testing Deep Breath at 2. It's a bit hard to use, but since Blue Mask is everywhere, this was a good card against it, so I kept 1 copy. The AI doesn't really expect this for some reason, so you can stop Blue Mask in their tracks if this goes off. And even if they have Attaché equipped, this can lower the movement to 0, so it might disrupt their plans. And we get it back whenever we morph, so it can be used more than once. This can easily be replaced, and if you don't like it, you can replace it with another magic or a legendary Orleans. Viper War is easy to take advantage of since you have a lot of movement in the deck. He can keep you from running out of cards late game. And I added Eureka Waltz because I was noticing problems with the amount of cards in my hand. I try to get this off early game and hopefully use the extra cards to my advantage later on. So those are all of the key cards in the deck. The rest are in here just to help the deck flow smoothly and such. You know, like the Jelly Girl and your Ray Rider. Pretty much gonna see those in every blue deck anyway, in Tidal Wave especially. So that's it for the deck profile. Let's go ahead and hop over into some replays.
戦いになりそうね。順調ね。ターンエンドよ。お手並み拝見ね。こちらへいらっしゃい。ターンエンドよ。ゾクゾクするわ。こちらへいらっしゃい。こちらへいらっしゃい。ターンエンドよ。初めから勝利の見えてるゲームなんてつまらないよ。優しくしてあげる。悪い子ね。残念だったわね。ターンエンドよ。ゾクゾクするわ。私を満足さ。こちらへいらっしゃい。ターンエンドよ。つまらない戦い方はやめてちょうだい。優しくしてあげる。嫌いなさい。こちらへいらっしゃい。もっと大胆になってもいいのよ。ゾクゾクするわ。これはどうかしら。これはどうかしら。こちらへいらっしゃい。優しくしてあげる。あら、つまらない。優しくしてあげる。感じされてしまったようね。優しくしてあげる。ターンエンドよ。つまらない戦い方はやめてちょうだい。勝利の女神を必ず優しくしてあげる。悪い。残念だったわね。スキッパーだよ。計算通りだ。もっと大胆になってもいいのよ。ゾクゾクするわよ。優しくて面白くなってきたわね。感じされてしまったようね。優しくしてあげる。感じされてしまったようね。ごめんなさいね。優しくしてあげる。残念だったわね。優しくしてあげる。ターンエンドよ。つまらない戦い方はやめてちょうだい。面白くなってきたわね。優しくしてあげる。あらよ。つまらない。勝利の女神は必ず微笑むわ。優しくしてあげる。私の領域を犯した罪は重いわ。運がなかったわね。優しくしてあげる。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。私は計算を誤ったというね。いたずらっ子にはお仕置きが必要かしら。ふざけんなこの鬼女。熱い戦いになりそうね。
マナミニオン召喚ターンエンド。
お手並み拝見ね。ターンエンドよ。
じゃ今の番な。ミニオン召喚ここだろ。ターンエンド。
初めから勝利の見えてるゲームなんてつまらない。こちらへいらっしゃい。優しくしてくらいなさい。ターンエンドよ。
見くびんなよ。ミニオン召喚。ほらあたミニオン召喚。マジック発動っと。ターンエンド。
つまらない戦い方はやめてちょうだい。私を満足させて。運がなかったわね。
ここだろ。
押し戻されてもっと大胆になってもいいのよ。
手加減しねえぜ。よっと眠いさ。
強いね。計算通りだわ。
ターンエンド。
つまらない戦い方はやめてちょうだい。計算通りだわ。暗いな。計算通りだわ。
ここだろ。
押し戻されてしまったわね。優しくしてあげる。残念だったわね。優しくしてあげる。コースを破壊したね。フィールドへもっと大胆になってもいいのよ。
今の番な。ほら働いてこい。マジック発動っと。ミニオン召喚。
マジック発動。計算通りだよ。
油断しすぎ。フィールドターンエンド。
つまらない戦い方はやめて。計算通り。まだよ。運がなかったわね。残念だったわね。面白くなってきたわね。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
最悪。
And that's it for today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed this budget version of the Blue Mask deck. Shown here on the left are some upgrades that you can consider. If you have these in your collection already, then you could, try mixing them in with the deck and see what kind of results you get. I am wilding with this Black Saber Jaguar. Do not craft that. Please don't. But anyway, on the right here, I have some more helpful videos. Got some guides and some gameplay. And in the upper right, I have videos that are relevant to some information in this one. So if you want more information on something, you should definitely check out the videos in the info box above. Also, leave a comment if you have any questions, and definitely hit that subscribe button, because we're very close to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see everyone in the next video.